We're heading up way to the northeast this time.
Going all the way up to Newfoundland.
With Efford's Hunting Adventures, where we have a ton of history. This time though, we're going with my bow for a moose.
This week, the choice
is Archery Bull Moose. Newfoundland with the Effords is a fly-in kind of camp, so to get up there, you gotta pack appropriately.
Yeah, you gotta be weight conscious, get the right gear.
Make sure you got everything to go because you're either staying in a beautiful little cabin or a tent camp. And I am very excited to get up there.
So am I.
So you're all packed and ready to go?
Yes.
Yeah. Bow, arrows, broadheads.
Yes. Effords, we're on our way.
And the journey begins. And Archie needs to put a seatbelt on.
I gotta put my seatbelt on. You think we have enough bags?
I thought we had more.
Are you ready for our last flight of the day? You excited? Good. Well, we just got word from our ride. It's gonna be about another half an hour or so, maybe a little bit longer until we actually get picked up. So we're just gonna run across the way real quick, grab ourselves some lunch, because now it's almost noon. Once you get up there, usually there's a little bit of a drive getting to camp. It is a gorgeous drive to base camp, at least where everybody's at.
Yep.
And then you get to meet up with the Effords. And there is a ton of history between all of us. The first time I got a chance to go up to Newfoundland with the Effords was 2019, the year that I graduated. And while up there, it was kind of a chaotic trip. I tagged my first moose ever. And it was the most incredible thing. I can't even explain how excited I was when I tagged my first moose. And of course, he was a pretty special one.
If I'm not mistaken, he's a lot like your dad's first moose.
Yes, actually he is. A lot like my dad's first
identical.
moose. The same trip, of course, my mom got to tag a moose. And sure enough, we see this moose way across this big old basin in front of us. The guides do some calling, and I kid you not, from like a mile away, this bull moose started working our way. And he kept coming, and he kept coming. And all of a sudden, he was close enough to let our Brownings do their thing.
Hell yeah.
And on that same trip again, I got to shoot a caribou, which was incredible because I got to shoot a beautiful caribou in some not so beautiful weather. The next time I got to go up there was with Ray from Browning and Eddie, who filmed us, who's behind the camera right now. We definitely put our time in for scouting and chasing bulls this trip, as we were fighting a little bit of weather, the timing and everything else, but we made it happen for Mr. Rafe, and he got his first ever bull moose, and it was incredible.
Congratulations.
We spent a couple more days scouting and hiking around, trying to find some more moose. Unfortunately, the bulls that we were gonna be going after weren't moving quite yet after the rut, so you'll have that, unfortunately. And then of course, not too long after that, y'all went up there for your first adventure in Newfoundland.
Yes, it was Shaundi, Vicky, and me going all the way up to Newfoundland. And we hiked, we tried interesting snacks while we were up there. Snacks. It smells like the bathroom. And then we hiked to a different spike camp, and that's where Shaundi ended up shooting her absolutely beautiful,
Gorgeous,
giant moose.
huge moose.
She made perfect shot.
And now fast forward, and we're back. Of course, Lucas, Joey, all the Effords, the whole crew there, they were all waiting for us, getting hunters out, getting people back.
Yep. And once we get to base camp, we go over and we get all your paperwork done.
Get my tags, get everything, make sure we're good to go, we're legal. After that, of course, they have a little target there. We make sure my bow's still good after flying through some airports and everything else. But other than that, I mean, we're about ready to go out there.
We're about ready to get on this helicopter.
For the first time.
That was pretty
First
crazy.
time ever flying on a helicopter.
Same. So that was the first for both of us.
Well, let's get to camp.
This segment was brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. The Choice is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, Browning Firearms, Dallas Safari Club, Easton Archery, Gammo Air Guns, and Hoyt Archery.
Well, we're here at the helicopter now, and Joey's gonna fly us into our kind of like a spike camp, and I think we're gonna get going here soon. To get into camp, we had to go for our first ever helicopter ride.
Yeah.
You ready? I'm ready. You're like, this is a normal day for me. You're like,
Which was pretty insane.
It was
not gonna lie.
incredible. Flying in, this was the craziest thing because Aubrey didn't want to ride up front, so I sat up front with Joey, and there was like 180 degrees of just window. Like you could just see everything. And flying in, we knew that this week was gonna be Aubrey, Thomas, and myself. Thomas was with me and Eddie and Rafe a couple of years ago now, and it was Thomas and it was Tristan. This time it's just Thomas, Aubrey, and I, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be absolutely awesome. So we get all settled in and we decided to go look for some moose. We just got into camp, said our hellos to Thomas again, and we're gonna kind of get all of our stuff put together real quick like and make our way over to a spotting point not too far from here and see if we can at least find something. Our setup this year is a little bit different than normal. It's, I'd almost say, kind of a more mountainous styled area, or I should say mountain styled area, because it's kind of just one big peak in the middle of a bunch of flat. And it is gorgeous, but it sucks to hike up.
Oh my gosh, does it suck to hike up.
Thankfully, we prepared for this one.
Yes, we did.
As we make our way up the mountain, we're just looking around, trying to see anything we can the entire way up before you even get up to the top, because there's so much land.
Yeah, you feel like you're almost not covering it all because it's so vast.
And you can look in the same pocket, and you never know where these little ditches are, these ravines that a moose could be standing in, a bear could be standing in, a caribou, because the land out there is just so strange. Because there's no flat ground really, it's all these tufts that you have to walk through that try to break your ankles every time you step through them, or
Yeah.
there's the bushes that you have to fight your way through. But on a good note, a lot of those bushes have blueberries.
Yeah.
And they are in season.
Nice little refueling when you're hiking.
As we got into camp, we kept checking the weather, kept making sure everything was gonna hopefully be good. We knew that we had some rain coming in. We knew we were gonna have some fog. We knew
Yeah.
it. And of course, we knew that we were right on the full moon. So we had a couple things fighting against us, unfortunately. But we had extremely high hopes going into this. And that being said, timing can be a very important thing too, because leading up to a rut, the bigger bulls might disappear because they're getting ready to go really hard for an extended period of time. Same thing on the post side of that. After the rut, you'll probably have a little bit of time in there that they're gonna go quiet, they're gonna go dark, you won't be able to see them. And on top of the full moon, we're fighting against the weather. And the weather that we had, we weren't expecting as much fog as we got. We definitely got hit with some weather that put us out some hours, some days of being able to hunt and glass and scout. But we would see moose.
Yep.
We would see a cow, a calf. We didn't see a ton of big bulls or bull really movement at the time of going up or down. But when we got up to the top, there's a couple times that we did see them. We got up to the top of the mountain and we're sitting up there glassing, looking around, just seeing what's going on in the area. And sure enough, there's a young bull just below us on the mountainside that we're already just above them. We probably could move down and get a shot, but I feel like that's a good bull to let live.
But were you tempted?
I was very much so tempted.
That's what I was thinking.
I think Thomas was a little bit too.
I think we're all.
I think we're all
tempted.
pretty wanting to go after this bull, especially after a couple days of chaos and weather and everything else we're going on with.
This segment was brought to you by Browning, the best there is. This segment is brought to you by DSC, Conservation, Education, and Advocacy.
It wasn't every day though that we went up the mountain.
No, we switched it up.
We did. We were kind of in this bowl
Yep.
with a beautiful lake right next to us. But in order to see some different places, the top of that mountain didn't necessarily see all of the area.
Right.
So if we would hike over to this other point on the top of this bowl, we could see a river system, a beautiful little patch of trees down below us.
Yep.
And we sat up on a rock up there for a while. We seen finally some more moose.
Yes, we did. But they were way, way,
Yes.
way out there.
Now that the weather's picked up, we can finally see so much more land.
Yeah, the
And
fogs.
sure enough, the moose are there. It's just weather.
Yep. And we ended up actually seeing a really nice black bear.
We
which
did.
You thought about going
Which
after.
we almost went after, but we were also still contemplating the moose.
The moose, yeah.
And it was teeter-tottering on that
Yeah.
one. And then of course, while we're sitting there having a good time, we eat our lunch, we're hanging out. All of a sudden, Thomas points behind us. He goes, "Caribou." A gorgeous caribou is standing there just as curious as a cat,
Just staring
looking at us.
Our wind's going right to him.
Oh yeah, he has no care in the
He
world.
didn't care.
So if you want to go caribou hunting, pretty good spot for you.
Yeah. Gosh, and they're so beautiful.
They are gorgeous, they're incredibly curious,
Yes,
and they're just such a unique animal.
they are.
From the different glassing points, we're getting an idea where these moose are at, where they like to kind of hide in, and understand kind of where they bed up in the day. Because that's going to be our best chance, at least right now, to get after them. Unfortunately, they're all a little bit too far off. We're seeing them way out in the distance. We're getting a good idea kind of where they are, but nothing to really get after yet.
Yeah,
Quite yet.
yet.
We're back up on the top of the mountain again, and I don't know how, but Thomas can pick a moose out of friggin' anything.
Yeah.
It is amazing what he can do.
Right there. Could you see them? Could you see them from there? On this little camera? Right there. What do you reckon the plan's gonna be?
As long as the wind is good, that little clump of spruce trees.
On that right side?
Yeah, if you just crawl around that, that would probably be close enough.
Yeah.
Just if the wind is okay.
Here we go.
So we send it directly off this mountain pretty much. We went down a very, very steep,
And thick.
yes, a thick
Forest
forest, and I would 100% gotten lost in there.
Oh, yeah.
Thomas was like, oh yeah, we're going this way,
Yeah,
this
he
way, this
knew.
way. We finally get through this forest. We get really close to where this bull was at after a pretty good hike. And we decide we leave our packs maybe 100 yards from the final stalk.
Before we touch the animal, we'll come back. Okay. I don't want to jinx it.
And we get up to the hill. Thomas kind of steps back, tries to make this moose stand up and kind of come his way. And all of a sudden he stands up and turns around and walks away. Moose hunting. Moose hunting.
And then moose hunting with a camera, too.
Oh,
I
it
didn't-
makes everything so much more difficult.
It just sucks because I couldn't get him on film.
We were hidden up just barely
Oh, yeah.
under the bushes. Aubrey was just behind me.
Yep.
And the way that it all just played out, you have two people up there already, so Thomas held back a little bit, tried to call, try to make some noise, try to bring him our way. The bull moose just was not having it,
No.
unfortunately. And
It just
it happens.
Yeah, it does happen. That's why it's called hunting.
Exactly.
Get it?
For the rest of this afternoon, we decided to just sit down low, see if there's any movement in these trees near us in this area, because we know there's moose out here, and just kind of relax. We're backing up now. It's been a long afternoon. We've been waiting for this bull to pop out. He just hasn't popped out. We've heard him a couple times, just off in the distance. We got a ways to get back to camp, so we're gonna start heading back here now. It was a good day, all in all. We got really close to a moose. Really close. But he just didn't want to play.
Even the simplest meals after a really nice long day of hiking and just working your butt off.
Pretty much anything is a meal.
Oh, yeah, you could serve me mashed potatoes and I'd probably eat them in that same
She doesn't
lot.
like mashed potatoes.
Just saying.
Craziest thing I've ever heard. I don't know how somebody doesn't like mashed potatoes growing up in the
I don't like
Midwest.
potatoes.
That's
Fun
wild.
fact. Fun fact about Aubrey.
Thomas, although I'm gonna say, Thomas went above and beyond.
He
Some
did.
of those meals, whew,
Like, we didn't go hungry, that's for sure. We
it
were
was
well fed.
delicious. Camp meals are just the best meals, period.
Now, RJ, you are such a kind soul, and I think you know where I'm going to go with this. He's always asking for if he can help, and so he asked Thomas if he can help with dinner.
Oh, come on now.
No. It's got to come from. It's got to
I
come
know
from me.
exactly where this is going.
So he asks Thomas, "Hey, what can I do to help?" And he puts him on grill duty. Well, maybe not one of your strong suits, there, buddy boy.
Usually, everything is a-okay.
But that night
We help them out at camp cooking, you know,
yeah.
and sometimes things get a little bit out of hand.
Sometimes things get a little heated and the grill gets turned up way hotter than it needs to be. And then the fat drips down and starts a grease fire.
I think something on the bottom caught on fire.
Thomas,
I
don't
like fire.
ever let him be grill master ever again, because he's just not grill master material.
I'm just saying, that was pretty good.
It was pretty good. It was a little charred.
I mean, really all I did was put it on the grill and take it back off once it lit up on fire, but Thomas did the rest. I think he just laughed at me a lot.
It was the thought that counts.
I tried.
Thank you for not burning down our camp, though.
You're welcome.
Want to learn more about this hunt? Scan the QR code down below or go to contentkingmedia.com/thechoice. This segment was brought to you by Thermacell. Turn it on. Mosquitoes gone. The Choice is also brought to you by Spy Point Trail Cameras, Tracker Off-Road, Traditions Muzzleloaders, Interlock Broadheads, and these fine sponsors.
Throughout the entire trip, we were dealing with some nasty weather, some moon phase issues,
Warm weather.
probably some rut issues. They just weren't hitting it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do?
Can't control it.
Nope.
That's
So you
for
gotta
sure.
make the best of what you can. We knew with the weather coming in that we wouldn't be able to extend our hunt, unfortunately. But after a very long hunt, we were pretty tired and we knew this was our last day. We had high hopes. So we had really good feeling about this morning. We're sitting there, we're glassing. Thomas goes around to the other side of the mountain there. And he's like, guys, you're gonna wanna come see this.
Oh yeah, I can see him.
2 absolute monsters.
Giant, gorgeous Newfoundland moose on the opposite side of the mountain, on the opposite side of the bowl, on the opposite side of camp from us, literally miles away,
Yep. And you could see the big ol' storm.
right behind him. Well, we better get moving. So we start hightailing it down this mountain, through all of these bushes that you can't walk through, across the ground, and
It was misting. We were walking through the fog.
then it just got
Rough.
heavier. And Thomas knew where he's going. We're just
Oh, yeah.
following him through all this nasty weather. And after hiking and going through water and going through more of these bushes that you just can't walk through, we get up to the point where we're extremely close to where these bulls were.
Like, we're almost within a couple hundred yards eye level, but we just...
It's too thick. The rain, the fog, we didn't know where these bulls went. We'd be literally walking in there blind. We could only see maybe 30, 50 yards.
Yeah.
And we were drenched, we were cold, we were all tired.
All of us were exhausted
And
from that.
unfortunately, due to the situation,
Yep, we
the
decided.
timing of the day, we decided to pack it up and head back to camp.
That'll be pretty much the extent of our hunt. It was a great hunt, and we've seen plenty of moose. It was just a matter of getting up on them with my bow. And we could have definitely had one down if we had a gun this week, but we're bow hunting.
We knew that this weather was supposed to stick around, so we went ahead, we went back to camp, made it back a little bit after dark, had ourselves a dinner, and went to bed. And unfortunately, that is the wrap up of my archery bull moose hunt in Newfoundland with the Effords this year. It was an incredible time.
It was.
It was unbelievable. It was beautiful, even though we had some crazy weather days, from seriously super hot to rainy, foggy, you can't see but 50 yards ahead of you. We got close, we just could not seal the deal. We know that the moose are there. We know we probably could have gotten on some of them that were way out there, but at the time, it just didn't make sense for us to send it out that far.
Nope.
We've had incredibly successful years, and then sometimes, if you just don't hit it right, you just don't hit it right.
And that's okay.
But it was a blast, and
It
thank
was.
you for sharing it with me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas, Lucas, Joey,
Yes.
Efford, all of y'all, everybody up there. Thank you so much for making this come true again, because being up there, just experiencing this in itself is such an amazing adventure that
Absolutely.
it's something you guys have to do if you've never done it before. So thank you for making your choice.
That choice.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
Closed captions brought to you by Wounded Warrior Outdoors, providing wounded service men and women with therapeutic outdoor adventures.
I think he's just gonna stay there.
Moonbeam!
Can that be the blooper? Just every time she says moonbeam.
No.
We are rolling.
We're heading up northeast. Well, why did I say well? Well, ready? The next time I got to go up there was with Rafe from Browning and Eddie, of course, who's filming us. And it was
Sorry.
The next time I got to go up there was with Ray from Browning and Eddie, who filmed us, who's behind the camera right now.
Hey.
We definitely hiked too. It was a little bit, I don't know, what am I saying?
Talk about her help. Talk
Okay.
about
Okay.
you fought some weather, you guys moved camps.
Okay, yes. No, we're not winners. We didn't shoot a moose. I'm sorry.
Spoiler!
Spoiler alert.
That's the beautiful thing about editing. Editing.
Beautiful thing about making Eddie's job harder.
Making Eddie's job harder. My life goal.
This is gonna be a really stupid question.
Can we get a really short one?
What?
Can we do a really short one?
No, just because you said something about them going boom underground. It reminded me of like that meme of like the terrifying moose diving in the water, because moose are technically part aquatic creatures. Did they develop their paddles to be like actual like paddles for swimming?
Am I putting 3 on this, or we can?
Yeah, sorry.
If it can't happen the first day, it will happen the first day.
Can make my hands fart.
How the hell?
You want me to clap this thing?
I'm sorry.
Are your hands moist?
No. Are my hands moist?
Yes.
Oh, that's the trick.
They are not.
All right, do.